Let me get this straight. You blew up a building.
2 CIs and the CEO of 22andU.
Two competing federal agencies with the same mission.
I don't understand why those Fed a-holes are so darn mean.
To protect the public from the scourge of dangerous misinformation.
You know those bum idiots. This is all them. We had a solid case.
The word entrapment, not even in their vocabulary.
The explosives we provided were fake.
Sworn to a duty to always tell the truth.
We have no indication at this time that this was a deliberate act.
We're all being transferred.
To where?
The only place currently with openings. Alaska.
Good morning.
Welcome to the office, huh?
And we got the retro feel. You know, the funny about federal buildings, they're all different, but they're still somehow all the same.
Oh, good morning, Agent Walker. At the coffee station. We actually drew straws before he got here, and I won, so we get to work together.
Let's get started. Let's see if we can't stir something up.
Let's give it a minute. I like to warm up the truth muscles a little coffee beforehand.
Well, what do you want to do first?
What do we have for a surveillance van?
Oh, wow. I got a Ford Explorer. We don't have a surveillance van.
Do you put many cases here?
Cases?
Yeah, cases. We're the tip of the spear when it comes to protecting American democracy.
You really believe this? You really believe that people posting crap online is going to cause our country to crumble?
I think the work that we do is important.
We don't have a surveillance van.
Missing people got one. We've never needed one.
We need a surveillance van. We need a big case or a CI who can lead us to a big case.
What do you need the van for?
Surveillance.
CIs, or confidential informants, are the lifeblood of any good law enforcement agency. Public posts on social media are one of the best ways to find CIs. Agents would never use coercion or take things out of context to try and persuade someone to become a confidential informant.
The new Taylor Swift single is absolute fire. I'm just seeing a lot of incendiary and violent language here.
Agents always need to be on their toes and ready to make snap decisions.
Is there anything I can do for you guys?
Actually, David, there is something you can do for us.
Chicken nuggets.
Chicken nuggets.
What?
Cheeseburger.
Cheeseburger. McDonald's cheeseburger.
Burger King.
Burger King cheeseburger.
Flame broiled.
And chicken nuggets.
Oh, baby, know you're gonna like it. I wanna be your beaver pilot. Said, honey, know you're gonna like it. I wanna be.
Awesome, right?
Is this a loner?
This thing's totally legit.
What is this? It's got windows!
Compelling stuff. Yes.
Yeah,
very exciting.
Yes. I can't wait. July 4th. See, I've still got the little scroll thing on the bottom there.
I got a Cairo. Loving the scroll. Very cool.
Ooh. Yes, we are scrolling. We are rolling.
We're scrolling and rolling, baby.
Rolling. How is everybody doing?
Good. Cruising on a Friday.
Yeah, been a fun week.
I was going to say, Michael, how has your birthday week been?
Well, we're getting through it. You know, we're doing stuff. A lot of unexpected news this week, but, it was all for the best.
Yep. Michael's had some good answers to some long-term questions, and that's been awesome. I've enjoyed my first week away from school by working at the store, and that's been fun. And Benji's been having fun playing. He's on a double sleepover with his best friend, so that's awesome. Live the dream. It's been pretty weather.
What was your good news, Michael? You told me a little bit about it, but
well, One of the tell the neat thing anyway that you found out today, or when you found
this
out the
week,
other day.
yeah, I was recently given a 50% designation, a 50% disability rating for the VA, which I guess puts me in the wounded warrior status. Very nice. And so I went to go get my card for the VA and basically kind of touch base with them with what's what. And I found out I get PX and commissary privileges. I didn't tell you?
No.
Yeah, I need to go to the Boniface gate and get my get our car like registered to go on base. And no, I get commissary and PX privileges. You aren't a part of the VA. You are so I get. So
you could
look at her.
You can take her with you. She can go with you to the PX and the BX, and she can go, I want that, and I want that, and I want that, and I want that, and I want that.
I knew I would have told you, Jody.
You did not. I would not have been able to have that kind of reaction if it wasn't authentic. I'm sorry, I'm crying. This is just like the Disneyland trip you didn't take me on.
My daddy won't take me to the PX. I have to have my husband do it.
Oh my God.
You didn't tell me. That's great news.
That is really good news. No, that was a big thing when I heard that. Well, I'm like, wow, that's really cool.
I wasn't aware of that at all. Just like I wasn't aware that I was my understanding that the medical benefits you get or the medical treatment benefits you get are only involve your service related injuries or what have you. Your service related issues are the medical treatments you're entitled to at the VA.
Oh
no. That's pretty much now my primary medical.
That's your primary medical care is through the VA.
Yeah, man, pretty much all encompassing. Service related needs, that's included too, but so is everything else.
Oh.
Yeah, I could have sworn it was just, or I always knew it to be just service related.
You're taking her to the BX tomorrow, right?
Well, we have to go to the Boniface
first. You got to get the card first,
right? Got to get base access.
I thought you were happy.
We have to work tomorrow anyway, Jody.
You ruined my health.
How'd I ruin it?
Stomped on it with your dumb words.
Yeah, maybe I won't take you.
They did it.
You know, you want it or you don't. You don't want it, you give it back. I want it.
Michael's been into burning wood. No, burning laser burning.
Laser engraving.
Thank you.
Laser engraving, yes.
I know. I'm sorry, I'm emotional right now. And he joked about, like what he was going to put on his belt. And I was like, what are you going to put on your belt, Michael? Being me. And he said, belongs to Jody, put back on.
Hands off.
That's very nice.
Off, belongs to Jody. So I like that.
That's very cool.
That was romantic.
Well, so is going to the. I mean, you could go. So is going to the commissary. That's romantic too.
Okay. Don't be a jerk. So I can go. Like, I get a card, or just you get a card?
Just me.
Okay. And then you just have to sign Benji and I in as dependents.
My experience at the exchange is they really only ask to see the ID of the person buying.
Oh, I guess you're right, because we're in the car. I guess I'm thinking about like when we go through drive-through.
No, I think you could get on base. You'd say, you're his dependent.
When you're in the car, Because they
Would you have a
just check your
sticker?
ID. No, they don't do the stickers anymore.
They don't do this
because they're checking everyone's ID as you show up, as you go in.
They show up to the gate. Yeah, like I can get on. I have a base pass just to work, but I can't. I can't go to the PX BX. Yeah.
Think about the
no, I'm not
toys,
awake
Michael.
tonight.
All the different toys we could have access to.
I know. I used to like buy CDs there, which tells you the last time I was at the
I was
PX.
gonna say, do not think about the prices
Nope.
that you.
You're not buying CDs anymore.
No. But that would be the last time I was there. The CDs were still the main medium of music.
We're actually buying CDs on Amazon. So like Benjamin, he's into Weird Al right now. And he wanted the whole ethos of, his career. And unlike us, we didn't have to wait for it. He could just buy it. And so he wanted CD. For me, CD is, I was a CD generation. If I was going to have my collection in anything, it'd be CD. I can understand records.
Cassettes?
But I think the quality of sound on a CD is better than a tape.
Oh, it is. It is. It's just
so to me the what I like to listen to is CDs with my headphones on, so it's inside my brain. But records, computers, all that stuff, I'm like, no, I'm a CD girl. So I guess I've kind of put that on Benji. What? Oh, how do we get so many chats?
I don't know. People are chatting.
People are chatting because
big news
Friday.
Oh, look at that! Wow. Yeah, lots of chatting. But yeah,
just totally ruined your train there, didn't I?
I really did. Yeah, or you really did. Yeah,
I derailed it completely.
Notice how I'm not crying over that. See, I'm not that.
Right.
That tells you how badly Michael wounded me.
So yesterday I had a dentist appointment and it was like a really deep cleaning. And so they basically gave me some pills. So I didn't care what they were doing, except it didn't work the same as it did last time. Like yesterday, I was like awake through most of the whole thing. Right. And they numbed me up and I didn't, it worked for the most part because I didn't really care or anything.
Right.
But like last time I was out, like I was completely out like a zombie. And then Kat was there to pick me up. Well, when she came back yesterday, I was pretty much, like, okay, I was able to pay for it. I was able to have a conversation. Then I went home and crashed. Like, oh my God. Like it hit me after I got home.
Oh.
And then I streamed last night and I was feeling pretty good when I started the stream because we were going over the Karen Reed case, right? The final resting of the prosecution and that. And then at one point though, like we're getting towards the end of the stream and I realized that I'm listening to the what was going on and I totally fell asleep. I totally passed out. I'm like
on stream.
Yeah. It's like we're listening to the case, we're going on. And then I realize I'm just like, I kind of go,
hey, Michael's done that.
I've done
like,
that.
Like I totally just went to sleep on you guys.
Actually,
I've done that.
Think about how long Michael hasn't done that since he's gotten his CPAP, right? He hasn't fallen asleep on air at all.
I wanted to. I just,
A hateful man.
Yeah, no, it was wild. I just what was that? What I
Sky's
missed?
falling.
Oh, you threw it back at her.
And got a direct hit.
You can reach me from there. I can't even get to you. See, I'm trying.
It was a layup. I've got this jar of marbles. I'll start throwing those.
I got jelly beans. We're prepared tonight. What do you have to defend yourself, Robbie?
This box.
Nice. Got nothing.
No. I got this metal thing right here.
Got a heart.
I don't even have his box of letters anymore.
I got last week's red vines. No product endorsement. Oh yeah. Talk about the Karen Reed case.
So today was this part, sweet victory. This is exactly it. It was like exciting because today was the first day of the defense, right?
It's really too bad she denied the directed verdict.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Right. Like you knew that was coming. Like,
yeah, I know, but it would have been neat for her to just say, you know,
oh
what?
yeah,
I think
no,
you're right. The prosecutor put up a bag of ass. You
know.
Yeah. So the first witness was a guy named Matthew DeSogra. Basically came on, and the last few prosecution witnesses were the experts, right? There was experts about the car and all the data and everything that they downloaded from the car and how it backed up and how they clued everything in. And then the weird the accident reconstructionist that they hired from Aperture was just like every other witness. He had to argue about every single thing, right? Like he couldn't, if the defense guy would have said the sky's blue, he'd have said, well, it's kind of greenish blue. I mean, like that, like he had to argue every single point.
I do not like people like
Oh my God. It was
not my favorite.
It was bad. I mean, and he was, the thing is, not only that, not only did he have to argue, he was smug. He basically started out by the defense attorney goes, we haven't been formally introduced. What's your full name? This is the witness.
Oh, whoa. Oh, whoa.
Michael, a witness asks the first question. Everybody goes up, right? How would that come over?
I don't think the witness is supposed to ask the questions.
You're right. That's how it started. We haven't been formally introduced. What's your full name? Like, and who are you?
And it's an interrogation, not a social call.
No, exactly. And then it went on from there. I mean, it was one thing after another. They argued about everything.
Did he ask to treat him as a hostile witness?
No. What happened then?
No, because
a hostile witness is, you called the person, it's your witness, but it's assumed that this person isn't like really happy to be there, to put it like it,
Mm-hmm.
And if a hostile witness is approved or granted, then you could ask leading questions on direct. Basically, the person who called the witness, you're not allowed to ask leading questions, but you are allowed on cross.
Okay.
No,
so it gives you some
exactly.
extra leeway or differences.
It's a different way of being able to ask your questions. You don't think, say like the prosecutor in the OJ trial called Cato Kalin, but Cato Kalin was OJ's, housemate. So
I want to be up here. Yeah.
Yeah.
A little closer to the mic. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that was it was weird. The guy just like I talked about yesterday, it was like the dog that has to go mark his territory everywhere, right? Like he wanted to be the alpha. And then the sweet victory here says he wanted to own the courtroom because he wanted, he was out for revenge because it was his Burgess guy who put together a report was the one that like made up all that shit on his resume. Like, I went to this, I got this.
That's right. It's all taken away now.
I got this degree, and then he didn't actually have it. So, but he did. He just ended up looking like he just looked like a dick to the jury, right?
Yeah.
So this guy comes on today to rebuff basically a lot of the reporting from Aperture, especially when it has to do with the entertainment info, the stuff that they downloaded from the Lexus. And his job was he took the reports that the two guys from Aperture did. He used all of their data, and he just pointed out that there was absolutely stuff that was, that could lead to doubt about their accuracy of their report. This was this guy's entire thing.
That information. So what we'll do is we'll equip a vehicle with one of these GPS.
He's a very knowledgeable
data acquisition systems. Basically,
as far as cars and stuff, especially Toyota cars and stuff. And so just went through the stuff that he took. Like I said, he took those two reports and then pointed out what was potentially wrong with them, right? So that was all fine. He gets it, and this took a whole day to do this, which I don't understand. This took a whole day.
Point out things like going reverse at 24 miles an hour isn't likely.
Yeah, well, not even that. So the defense or the prosecution actually got through
162 dash.
Just basically the prosecution got through it pretty quickly. All right, they just kind of went through some of the slides that were wrong, or that he felt had potentially wrong, and then the cross-examination. Now, do you think of folks that their voice just really makes you cringe?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That is Brennan. That is the prosecutor. His voice is just grating. And then he spent all day just dogging this guy.
I think it depends on what you mean by event. Because previously we'd been talking about an event as the data, but event can mean a lot of other things.
If an event's only 3 seconds long and 10 seconds of data is captured, then the data will capture more than the event.
That grating voice right there, right?
Yeah.
So what's really crazy is, and I'm going to somewhere saying, well, you didn't independently look at the data. And Matthew is just like, I looked at your expert's report. And he's like, well, you didn't do it on your own, right? You didn't look at the data on your own. He's like, I took the data from your expert's report, just over and over again. It was like, he just kept like, I don't know. It was so crazy. And he'd get mad at him and start yelling at him and stuff. And I mean, they had to go up to the bench a couple times for when he was, I'm trying to find the thing here.
Did you look at it?
I just don't want to mince it. The text stream data is an independent system from the infotainment, and you said from, so they're not.
Did you look at the infotainment raw data?
I did.
Okay. And did you find a timestamp on the infotainment raw data?
Yes.
Now, when you add,
they argued about these 3 seconds. So when you hit the on button on the car, it's 3 seconds later, the screen pops up, right? In this particular Lexus. They had to argue about this for like a half an hour about him trying to say you have to account for these 3 seconds, right? Like the guy said, you have to account for these 3 seconds.
You were trying to, in addition to the infotainment data, you were adding on the 3 second delay that now you're saying might not even be accurate. Is that fair to say?
No. I don't think I've ever said it's not accurate. I said that in the exemplar testing, they documented this behavior of a 3 second delay. And that needs to be accounted for if you're going to correct the timestamps. However, the caveat I put on that was only with one exemplar vehicle. So it could be that this behavior, the 3 seconds, is unique to the exemplar and would not apply to other similar vehicles. And so that's why I did either nothing or the 3, because there's nothing to support something in between.
So you disagree that the clock stamp on the infotainment module begins the run. You believe that there's potentially 3 seconds before when the ignition goes on that should be added to that time.
I know from testing other Toyota systems that the key on timer happens almost at the identical time that the vehicle is turned on. That timer starts running basically immediately.
But on this case, you don't know anything firsthand because you didn't do the testing yourself.
I don't know if it would specifically apply to this Lexus. I know that from other Toyota testing, and not this specific Lexus.
I'm sorry, finish.
No, I'm clarifying. I do know that from other Toyota and VCH systems, that key on timer is basically simultaneous with the key on.
Yeah. Did you hear that? The condescension? Like, well, you didn't test it on this one.
Mhm.
I mean, just how much of a dick this guy is. I mean, there's nowhere to say it. He is a dick.
I have not tested it on this, and I don't believe that it was tested by Aperture when they had it either. They didn't document the accuracy of the run timer in their exemplar.
So this guy was able to get that in though a few times that, hey, this is your experts, right? And they didn't do the testing. So why are you yelling at me for not doing the testing myself?
Mhm.
I mean, yeah.
Second variance.
Another one here.
You don't have any assurance in your own mind.
Sorry
whether
for
or not
taking Aperture at
this
face
car
value.
Misreads.
Won't make that
Lexus
mistake
has
again.
a 3-second variance. That's what you're trying to say.
That's correct, and that's why I run my calculations with and without it.
And the way you would determine that is to actually do testing or look at the data.
More testing, I think, is the only way that would be able to be determined.
Now let's turn to slide.
So he kind of just kept shooting himself in the foot because the jury's got to be sitting there going, but it's your guy's expert. Why would he have to look at it separately when it's your guy's expert that did all this stuff? So I don't know. Just, I don't know. Just, I don't know that it came off to the jury like he thought it would. I guess some people will like that aggressive tone and everything, but I think a lot of people aren't. According to reports, he kept making. Correct. He kept making these sarcastic comments that they had to object to, and a lot of them were sustained, which was pretty wild because usually Bev doesn't sustain any. What do you think as a juror? Most of the jurors are pretty young, they said. So do you think that level of arrogance and stuff, what do you think if you were a juror, how would you feel? How would that come off to you, basically? Jody, you can go.
Well, in my experience, I am not a very good person to have on a jury. I was on a trial once where the guy wore the same outfit twice, and he said his name like, "I am Ezekiel, son of Jebediah, son of Ephraim," and I'm like, "You're guilty. Whatever you did, I hate you." So that's how I go into the jury box. Is just,
oh my God,
you're awful. I hate you.
Well, that's how you get off the jury.
I didn't, but I would probably find that very annoying, and I would still listen. Like at this age, I would still listen for the information, but yes, I would be very annoyed at that.
Oh yeah.
Because I've always known that if you don't want to be on the jury, you just got to say certain buzzwords like "hang the bastard" or "isn't he my cousin?"
Yeah, you've never been on a jury.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying those are what I understand to be the ways to get off a jury is to
I've
say
been on
things like that.
2 and done a 3rd, and I've never heard anyone say those things. Have you, Robbie? Have you served on a jury?
They're not trying to get off the jury then.
Nobody wants to be on the jury. Except you.
I don't mind. I wouldn't mind serving on a jury because
you haven't?
There was one time I almost got on a jury. I was sitting in the chair and I got into an argument with the prosecutor about Roger Clemens, the baseball pitcher.
I can see that.
And that's how I got thrown off the jury. It was a weed case. All right. So basically what the prosecution was trying to say, and I picked this up. Prosecution case was very circumstantial. They found a guy with weed, found a guy with some baggies, but it wasn't packaged up for sale. Right. But they were going to try him for selling weed. And what they were saying is you have to, we're going to present this evidence to you.
Right.
And then you're going to have to put it all together to convict this guy. And so I'm already got a side eye, but I'm like, okay. But then the guy said that Roger. So you've heard of Roger Clemens, right, Michael? He
Oh, yeah.
he's a pitcher. So he's one of the best pitchers ever. Right. He's in the top 10 or whatever pitchers of all time, I would think.
Right.
Historical. But this guy is trying to say that if Roger Clemens hits a batter, then he automatically meant to do it no matter what. Like there is no chance. There's no chance that Roger Clemens would hit a batter on accident. And I'm like, what?
Yeah, over 100 pitches
What
a
are
game,
you-
you're not going to have one go sliding out of your hand.
Right. Yeah. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, that's not even possible. And so, of course, I was one of the first ones thrown off the jury by the press. they got down to making their cuts, and they're like, "Get this guy out of here. He's going to be way too much of a freaking."
Yeah, I've never gotten past phoning in. I've never even had to show up to the building.
Yep.
And I even did a federal jury duty, which lasts a month.
Yeah, no, I had to do like grand jury duty or something one time, and that lasted a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, no, see, and I think that's
yeah, all of you people want to be on juries. I didn't.
I do, because if I'm up, if something happens and I'm in court as a defendant, I want free thinking people like myself to be on the jury. I don't want, well, that person's here, so he must have done something.
Yep, that's me.
Oh God.
Hang him high. This guy was guilty in the end. Actually, he wasn't.
No, I know exactly. And what's that? Did he get?
No, this was a weird one. It was the actual issue was an assault, and it was the troopers versus these dudes on this piece of property in the valley. But these dudes were putting dogs on crucifixes, dead dogs, but they were putting them on crucifixes on their property.
Okay.
So the police came out and they had a kerfuffle, and it ended up finding out through testimony that he didn't hit the cop. It was his friend that hit the cop. And so it was a mistrial.
Hmm.
It was such a freaking waste of a week.
Oh.
It was so stupid. And then the judge retired, and she worked at the same bookstore that I worked at. And I was like, "What's up, man?" So, small world. I told her that. I was like, "That's how I acted." And she was like, "Oh, Jody." I ate all the sugar cubes from the coffee bar. Suck on sugar cubes all day.
That's funny. So yeah, so just trying to find a couple spots here where he was just a complete
Basis of your testimony, right?
I only submitted a PowerPoint. I have no report.
PowerPoint. And after
I think this is him asking about you didn't write a report,
you
right?
said that variances are generally accepted in the community, right?
Yes.
But then you wrote a report suggesting numbers and additions, and you submitted that report as part of the basis of your testimony, right?
I only submitted a PowerPoint. I have no report.
PowerPoint. And after you submitted the PowerPoint, isn't it fair to say Mr. Burgess then analyzed this data to be more specific after you introduced your PowerPoint?
Yes.
So can you guess why he went through a more detailed analysis?
Objection.
No.
Sustained. Strike it.
So there was she actually had to strike that whole thing because he's just acting like a complete dick. I don't know how you try and I don't know. Maybe some people I think the jury's going to be turned off by it, but I mean, this just went on and on and on all freaking day. Like
I know I'd be pissed off if this was all I was listening to all day and it had no point. I'd be angry as a jury member.
Oh yeah, no, exactly. Trying to see if
And
there's
again,
other
this
ones.
goes back to a question that you were asked on Mr. Brennan.
Yeah, that's getting back into the redirect. So yeah, I mean, it was who knows. Then they so you remember the Trooper Proctor? We've talked about Trooper
I was
Proctor
about to
before.
ask, is the defense going to call him?
This is what they're trying to do. This is Jonathan.
Commonwealth can raise them.
This is one of the people that was.
Please state your name and spell your last name.
Jonathan Diamandis, Diamandis.
You've also been here
a little
already.
bit.
Yes. Sorry for making you wait.
No problem.
Do you know former State Trooper Michael Proctor?
I do.
How do you know him?
I've known him since middle school, probably the 6th grade.
Grew up with him, essentially?
Grew up with him, been friends for 30 years.
Okay, and if you just keep your voice up,
Sure.
I'm sure other people can hear you, but this old guy.
Can we turn off the fans and the air conditioning? Are they all off?
Yeah,
We're just going to do that.
In fact, were you on a group text chain with him that lasted a number of years?
Yes.
I would like to show you a document.
So what they're going to try and do is they want to get other people who were on that text chain with Proctor to come in and read the text into evidence without having to call Proctor, because they don't want to call him, have him be their witness. Prosecution's rested. They're not calling Proctor. They're not calling Proctor. They're not calling anybody else that was in the house. They're not calling Tolly. They're leaving their case where it was. So I don't know. It's kind of dumb. I don't know what to think. So yeah, so that's
the text stream where they were pretty much talking bad about the defendant.
Yes. Yeah, the she's a CUT, she's a whack job,
Yeah.
she's, the really, really bad text that he sent his buddies the night of the thing, where in the text where he also said that where they said, "Oh, is the guy who owns the house going to get any trouble?" He's like, "No, he's a Boston cop too." Right? That was in that text stream as well, right? So, no, we're not going to investigate him. He's a Boston cop. We're going to pin it on the other person here.
That whole investigation's strange. Hey, you got a dead guy on your lawn who's not really dressed for the outdoors. Should we investigate the house attached to this lawn? No. We don't need to see if there was a struggle in there or not.
No, of course it was a car. He got backed into by a car.
I mean, he's outside. Clearly, there's nothing in the house that might be relevant.
Right.
We have to check all the outside stuff.
You guys, I know you guys don't follow it like I do. I followed it every single freaking day.
It's actually entered into my feed a lot more lately, so I have been checking this or that out.
Jody, this is what the expert did. Let me show you the expert, what he did. Maybe it was on. You
Sure. To just answer the question.
all right, so do. He was on the stand for like all those days. Yeah. All right. Got to go back one more day.
Sure. To just answer the question. And then
That's just on. Gosh darn it.
And in the back of your head is your ox.
What do you, all right.
What's it take to crack a skull?
So, you know what the occipital is, right? Have you heard of that term before? On the back of your skull, you've got a bump, right?
Okay.
And there's like a little ridge. You know what I'm talking about, Michael?
Isn't that like a reset button?
Yeah, exactly. It kind of is. So it's your occipital. That's how you pronounce it. Or your occipital bone. What do you... So this is what the expert, the biomedical expert called this bone. Let's see if...
So what you see, the portion at the back of your skull is called the occiput boner. So that
it's the occipital. You heard that, right?
at the back of your skull is called.
Watch now. Emily, who's down here in the left, this person right here, she's a former prosecutor. Her husband is a medical doctor, I think like a really specialized dentist, right? Watch her reaction to this shit.
The occiput boner. So that bone, if you put your hand in the back of your head, is your occiput. So we're looking at.
You know,
Chat, you're gonna
in
have
the
to.
medical world,
You're
there's things get pronounced different here and there, but that's a new one on me. It's like capillaries,
Capillaries, yeah.
Right.
Occipital.
Tinnitus.
I still can't get over it.
Hang with me. Hang with me, please, because yeah. I have to fact check this.
She calls her husband.
Chances my husband answers the phone, less than 5%. Ooh. You're on speaker. I'm streaming. I need your help. We have a cranial.
So she actually makes him bring a skull in there, and they go over it.
It's not just the closed captioning.
He called it the occiput boner.
We'll get through
the occiput boner. So that.
So what else did he do? He. Let me find it here. This guy just. Hang on. I know. Through the shit too. Okay, so do a test.
Entire fucking.
He's going to do a test on the car with the back bumper, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wearing the same clothes. He went out and got the same clothes as the guy, as John O'Keefe.
Because blue makes a difference.
No.
Mr. O'Keefe at the time of this incident was 216 pounds. So I took measurements of myself. I'm actually wearing the same make and size shoes as Mr. O'Keefe, the same brand of jeans as Mr. O'Keefe, the same brand and size shirt of Mr.
That is weird. And the hoodie and the sweatshirt. I mean, why?
Well, I get that to a bit. I don't mind it, but they bought a Lexus, and they're going to be billing the state of Massachusetts for it.
Yeah, but why do you need the same clothes as the guy? Why?
Maybe if there was like a hook or something on the pants or some kind of.
No, all he did. So then he painted the light blue, right? He painted the tail light blue and then had the car drive into him at 2 miles per hour. And then moved his arm. He moved his arm to make it match right as the car got to him. Like,
yeah, I didn't buy this either.
An effect on where you end up.
I mean, I had to hear it again. I'm shocked.
We just don't have enough information in this case to determine all that information. We know the taillight was broken. We know the glass was broken. We know we have damage to the rear of the Lexus. We know we have lacerations in Mr. O'Keefe's arm. So I'm trying to see if there's any correlation between all those.
Well, can body posture on a clip or a side?
I mean,
weren't you hired for causation?
Yeah, and then the guy even said, "We don't know. We don't know."
We know we have damage to the rear of the Lexus. We know we have lacerations in Mr. O'Keefe's arm. So I'm trying to see if there's any correlation between all those.
Well, can body posture on a clip or a side?
I mean,
weren't you hired?
Shit. Sorry. It's just weird. This whole thing is weird. So that was their expert. That was the weird guy that kept arguing over everything. And yeah, I don't know. I was really, I thought, I hope the defense picks it up, because today was just, I think it was really draining for everybody, including the jury. I think they probably were kind of bored today. But I mean, to paint your arm, and then I was trying to find.
Yeah, then he
Somebody
does it with a test at 2 miles an hour when they were saying she was going reverse at like 24 previously.
Right, exactly.
Why don't you go stand in front of a car at 24, dude?
That's right. It's gonna be Johnny. Try it out. Try it out. A 24
in your new shirt.
Yeah, exactly. In your
That's where you get a test crash
like
test dummy to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean the guy was he was so weird. He was just very obnoxious. I mean, so yeah, I don't know. Hopefully hopefully today they got something out of it, because it felt like a long day for just one expert to go back and forth. So hopefully it picks up next week. We'll see. Have the plow driver that didn't see anything.
Right.
You know,
I didn't like the way they pointed out that this guy has no side, no reason to not tell the truth. I think we hope that they all, would tell the truth. I don't know why you need to.
Oh, right, exactly.
It was kind of like when Joe Biden got elected, they were saying the fairest, freest election we've ever had. You've never said that before, but shouldn't that be the standard?
Yep. No, so people in the courtroom were saying they were taking notes like, I think that's madman. For that one. Yeah. No, it's oh my goodness. Oh, what the hell is that? Sounded like a earthquake.
Sounded like a train.
Big truck or something.
Yeah, it sounded like a train going by, except unless they installed tracks overnight, we don't have a train going by.
No, I wouldn't think so. Yeah. There was one person on the jury that doesn't take any notes ever. Well, I mean, maybe they've got a hell of a memory. I don't know.
Yeah, so like if you're
got a really good memory.
Maybe they're Jody and they don't care.
Yeah, or maybe they're Jody and they don't care. They've already figured
I
it
could
out.
care less, man.
I was gonna say like maybe they're like a bartender, they could just take the orders without writing stuff down and just,
Yeah.
Well, then that's the other thing I learned real fast. They take everything that you write down. So you can't write anything that's, everything has to be about the court case. You can't really even doodle. They don't like it. They don't want you to doodle.
So you can't make a little flip book in the corner?
Not really. It's just notes about it. Supposed to be completely focused on that. It sucks, man. I'm telling you, it sucks balls. And then the second time I was on the jury and we were about to have the trial, and then one of the other jury people was like, "Oh wait, I know him. I guess you did kind of do the Michael thing. I guess you're right." And they had to call a mistrial, but I was like, "This is so stupid. You're stupid. I hate this world." So yeah, I guess I've been in 2 experiences that were just stupid, and I was like, "This sucks."
Oh my god.
Sorry, you freedom fighters.
Chad, I'm.
This is the video. We got to see the video here of this
His
guy
arm was
running
bent.
into himself.
Did we have a different?
Where some of the fragments are, you can see
Where's the video?
where those
God damn it.
fragments are. This is the post-contact image of the transfers onto my arm. Actually,
Yeah,
you can see.
I can't find it right now. Gosh darn it. Oh, wait, here it is. So yeah,
And
2
you'll
miles an
see-
hour, but yeah,
I
watch,
backed it up.
watch him right at the end. He rolls his arm up.
It's from 2 different angles. That's me showing I'm doing test 2.
Yeah, he kind of rolls his arm around the thing. Like,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and the blue got on my arm. It's like, well, no shit. You rolled your arm through it. Here's the top.
This is from
watch.
a camera that we have pointing down.
And you kind of see
at
he's
it.
holding this
This
cup.
is the speed. You'll see it's only about a 2 mile an hour impact. But even a 2 mile an hour impact redirects me back and causes me to rotate and take a step.
I mean, you're also walking. And
Yeah,
yes,
he
Chad,
starts to
he's
go.
the human volunteer at this point. Like car. I happening?
Come on. Get going.
Yes.
It's so weird, man.
Yeah, it's a little too slow to do any kind of actual real reaction to how your body would move to that.
So you also, do you think that it would be appropriate to know what kind of force it takes to break a taillight? That's kind of, they never did that test.
Well, I don't even know if they need to do a test. I bet they would just research a test that's already been done.
Well, it's a specific taillight.
Well, sure, but I mean, like, I don't know. If they had to make each and every one of the cars and do all these safety tests on all of them as they're making them, maybe there's information. But it doesn't seem like it's that hard to do if that's your world.
You just get a taillight and then you
get crushed.
You repeat it, test until it breaks. And that's what the other experts did, the ones for the defense, but these guys never did a test. They don't know how much force it takes to actually break that taillight and how much force it would be putting on your arm when you break that taillight with your arm, with only your arm. So it's just stupid. Thing is stupid.
I'm sorry, how did he die?
All good questions.
Oh, that's a wonderful, great question. From the back, so he
died
blunt
from the
force
injuries. He did not
trauma.
die from hypothermia.
Died from blunt force trauma to the back of his head is the official cause of death. The manner of death, we don't know.
Okay.
We don't know for sure. Cause of death was, and the medical examiner here said one of the side causes was hypothermia. There's going to be an expert that's coming up to say, no, it actually wasn't hypothermia. But so it was, the official cause was blunt force trauma and secondary cause of hypothermia.
Okay.
And it was to the back of his head. So how did he get the bump on the back of his head? That is the biggest, that is the big question in the trial and what everybody's trying to do. But there is a lot of evidence, or there's not a lot of evidence that he was hit by a car is the problem, right? And there's a lot of ways that you can show that this was not done by being hit by a car.
So a conspiracy theory could be that there was a kerfuffle in the house, somebody hit him, and this is a big old cover up.
Correct.
And we're spending all this time to do this cover up.
Billions of dollars. We're probably over $2 million now.
Annoying.
For this trial.
For one person.
Yes. With not a great, I mean, it'd be one thing if there were pictures or something, or there was something to like tie her to it, but there's just not, right? I mean, it's just, the evidence just is not great. And so to wrap up 2 years and, thousands of dollars or millions of freaking dollars for this, it's just wacky.
All right. How are we going to wrap this show up?
That's it.
Yep.
You want to buy some soap?
What's this?
You don't want it.
This is, who Sydney Sweeney is, right?
This
the
is
actress?
capitalism gone wild.
I think I do.
Sydney Sweeney is
I'm curious, how much was the price?
Sweeney movie list, damn it.
IMDb.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. I mean, I don't even. So Sydney Sweeney was in that I haven't heard of, The Handmaid's Tale and Euphoria.
Okay.
You know, who did
No, I don't. But what's she doing with the
All
soap?
right, so she is just this hot person, but she got a soap now that is from her. The water used in this soap is from Sydney Sweeney's. We're buying it. There's a special edition 5,000 bars made with the water that Sydney Sweeney has bathed in.
Wow.
Approximate retail value of
a bar of soap.
Yeah, it's like, how am I supposed to
That's
drink
just
a
not
bar of
right.
soap?
That is just not right.
Nothing
So-
about this is right.
Yeah,
Yeah, I wouldn't be buying. I don't know.
seen-
Put Jason Momoa on there. Would I buy some soap? I might. That might sound like fun. It's $5 and it's a bar of soap.
Would you buy Jason Momoa soap?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Yeah, well, there you go.
There you go. There's one vote. Not going to buy
Yeah,
hers. Came to the commissary for my birthday.
When's your birthday?
June 10th.
Well, you got to go to the commissary then. All right, one more because Michael's got to get out of here.
So do I got boys.
This 21-year-old former flight attendant has been arrested after authorities uncovered a $3.3 million trafficking operation. Not in cocaine or fentanyl, but in a new drug made from human bones.
Ooh, bone drugs.
I guess it's some like elite psychoactive drug that people with lots of money are now trying to buy. And it's made from people's bones. What is going on?
Now we're ingesting human bones.
We are grinding up and snorting human
bones for
to
bread.
get
I'll
high.
trade your bones for bread.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are getting high on bones now, people. Don't smoke your bones.
And you imagine the smell of that processing plant?
Where do they find the bones?
Oh, you can find them and you can just dig them up. But
well, yeah, but I mean, I bet you they've got to be not dead. Well, I mean, not like long dead. I bet you I don't know. I gotta figure out what this is because this is
All right.
insane.
like,
Gross.
if you've ever cut
Gross.
if you've ever machine cut like bones or antlers, the smell that creates.
All right.
Oh,
Ugh.
Nice rack, though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
well.
bet you she was popular.
Rye looks great in orange.
I don't human bone drug. That just doesn't make
Human
it. Does that make any
bones.
sense? Does that make any sense?
Well, you know they got that deer horn or that deer antler spray for
Right.
a pain reliever. So yeah, I could see someone trying it.
Yep.
What was the one thing that we had? Just a real quick note. I read that a sea sponge is the only creature that you can grind up and put through a sieve into salt water and it'll reconstitute back into a sea sponge. And they say that's like the only animal that can do that.
Oh,
Which
wow.
opens the obvious question: how many other animals have they tested this on? Because they very definitively said this is the only one that can.
Nice.
Oh, let's try frogs. Nope, didn't become a frog. Yeah,
Does the sponge's soul?
I have no idea.
I don't know.
Uh,
All right, guys.
okay.
Wrap. Enjoy a little outro. July 4th, the release of Mistakes Were Made.
Woo!
It is coming up, and I got to go home and start editing more because I'm way behind. So, but enjoy.
And just 4 more hours left till my birthday, so
Yes.
you might have a rush if you got to go do some shopping now. But
Enjoyed this introduction to one of the stars of our show, Agent Anthony Miller.
Introducing Agent Anthony Tony Miller from the Bureau, undermining misinformation.
Welcome to the office, huh?
Agent Miller takes the mission seriously with an eye toward the future.
Retirement, man. One word only.
You don't look that old. How long you got?
14 years, 5 months, 7 days. Give or take. Who's counting?
When it comes to finding misinformation, Agent Miller brings his A game.
It's obvious. Dude's not right. Nolan Ryan, way tougher than Roger Clemens, period.
Agent Miller is also a master of the interrogation.
I say we just let him stew for a little bit. We'll go catch some coffee, eat some food, maybe check the scores. Then we finally go in. I'll take some notes, but really they're just doodles. But I'm getting really good actually at some sketches. I'll show you later.
Is there anything I can do for you guys?
Chicky nuggies.
Agent Anthony Miller, performing the mission of keeping us safe from dangerous misinformation.